I'm Ashley Adamson, and I'm walking through Paris right now. And I wanted to talk to you about something pretty transformational as we go through Paris. That is playing your game and not someone else's. And I want to tell you a little bit about my experience and what that means to me. And then I'm going to reflect that back to you to see what you think, and maybe you'll find something out of that for how you can play your game, how you can play your game better, and how you define your game. That's also probably pretty important, right? So what do I mean by game? Well, so life, right? Life is a game in some ways. And if you approach it like play, you can learn a lot, and you can maybe expand a lot and build on that notion and implementation in your life. I think like a big part of that is probably like your job, how you make money, what do you do? And that's like probably one of the bigger games and more important ones that I've been thinking about as it relates to entrepreneurship. How do I make money? And what do I do that's going to make me happy and going to be sustainable? So just a little brief background. I'm completely self-taught. I taught myself how to get into tech. I taught myself how to be a woman. And then I started to I just moved to Washington maybe 8 months ago from Berlin, Germany, and I started up learning how to start a fund, how to raise capital to start building tiny homes and acquiring mobile home parks. And it's like a totally different industry, but started to learn it. I started to snowball in that kind of work, and I got COVID, and getting COVID knocked me out, and it really, really, really affected me in a way where I just couldn't work. I couldn't do anything. So where that brings me to now is this kind of this struggle that I've had coming out of recovery or coming through recovery, which is what game am I playing? What am I really doing here for making my life better and making myself happy? So I think this is it. I have grown through my college career, and then afterwards, which direction do we go? Oh my God, it's so pretty. We got to go that way. I've grown through my college career kind of thinking that the employee path was not the way to go because I couldn't get a job, so I had to invent something. So I started my first company, and I started my first company with some other friends who were super hustlers. They hustled a lot, and I acquired a lot of energy. I learned a lot of lessons through this 40, 60 hour work week hustle where you really had to build your own business and make it happen. But I think that was really unhealthy for me in another way, which is I thought that's the only way for me to build a business, is to do this intense amount of hustle. And you know what? This is where it comes to me recognizing a principle of playing my own game, and maybe for you playing your own, is what does your body want? How does your brain work? How does it feel when you put it under certain pressure? And where are the thresholds or limits where you really shouldn't be pushing more, or where you should be pushing more? And as a younger person, I was able to ignore some of these thresholds because I was younger and I could just push myself through it. But now that I'm older, I'm 36, I can't do that anymore. And after getting COVID, I had to say no to so many things, right? So where I've come to now, and dating this guy in Paris who I just met last week, and he just kind of was like, hey, I want a relationship with you. And I was like, oh, well, I'm interested in you too. Wink, wink, but I'm not making any commitments. He runs 3 businesses, and he does really well at it, and he's doing a great job. But he does it in a way where he doesn't have to work 40 hours a week. In fact, he only works about 1 to 2 days a week, which is kind of where I think I'm at. I would rather work less time and find something that's very sustainable but can generate me enough money that I don't need to work all the time. I mean, that's the dream. So in seeing other examples and processing this with myself, I've learned that this is how I want to do things. It's not the way that I've been told. It's not the way that I've seen and emulated. It's through like what I understand now, which is my brain and my body have certain limits. I need to have less expectations on huge, massive success and really work towards something that's more sustainable for me, that feels good. So there's a sacrifice there. And this is kind of like the other thing with playing your own game is when you go through this process, you emulate how to play the game by looking at what others are doing. So I was doing the hustle. You see the result by emulating others, and you go, oh, this is how I must play the game because I'm emulating and I'm getting some results. But do you check in with yourself? Do you see how you feel? Are you able to calibrate? Are you taking into account like how you think and how you work? Because if you do, then you enable your brain and your body and your being to align with yourself in a way that allows you to actually do more in a happier, more sustainable fashion. So emulate, learn, reflect, and then build off of that and align it with how your body and your brain work. And you may say, well, how do I figure out how my brain works? Well, that's a process. That's something that takes time. But one of the main things for me that really unlocked things was like being able to say, hey, do I feel good doing this? Am I effective at doing this? Or am I like really shitty at doing this? And if you're really shitty at it, do you want to get better at it? Is it something that you're interested in getting better at doing? Or are you not interested in doing it at all better? And maybe there's a way that you can find someone else to do that work for you if it's your own business. Or is there some other thing that you can do where you feel like you can commit to building skills and building the ability to do things? For me, initially I thought it was music, but I didn't have enough interest in learning how to produce. I taught myself how to produce because I was motivated, but it hurt so much to make my first album. It wasn't until I found product design, designing software, where I said, you know what, I can study this. I can do this for a very long time, and I'll feel great in doing this. Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey. So everyone stares at me when I walk by. Where was I? It's like what can you do where you can say, oh yeah, I can do this, I can do that, and I don't mean passion, I mean skill. I have a friend who's so good at just organizing things. So what can she do where she can be really good at organizing? She doesn't have to be passionate about it. She just has to be able to work with it in a way that makes her really good at then creating value and charging money for that. So does that make sense? I hope this was helpful for you. I hear that a lot of people have struggles with making money these days. And while I'm not like a billionaire or a millionaire at this moment, I wanted to just pass on something that I've learned because I've achieved, for the most part, my dream life. It can be better, but it's pretty good. And hopefully there's something in here that can help you align yourself so that you can go out there and create your own version of your dream life. Whatever that is, I hope I've helped you along your way. So with that, please like and subscribe. Write a comment down below. Let me know what your thoughts are. And I will see you in another episode soon. I'm Ashley Adamson. Bye.